Right, today we're going to put colour onto our design. So remember our grid that we've drawn our designs on? You're going to take one of the designs that you've drawn. I'm going to take a nice simple one so that I don't spend too long doing it. We're going to put some tone on there, and I'm going to use some very simple tools. So I'm literally going to have a pencil and a choice of some very basic simple colours, perhaps a ruler, perhaps a rubber, but certainly a basic red, a green, basic colours, nothing special you'll need for today, plus a pencil. So we're going to look at the way that the light falls on objects. When light falls on a cube, so here is a cube, if you think about the light coming over your right shoulder and falling on the object, anything that hits the top of the surface will be a light tone. So we're going to have a light, medium and dark tone onto this shape. So we've got the light tone that will always be on the top, and from the way round that you've drawn things, on my case, you will find it much easier if you then deal with this end being a medium tone and this end being a dark tone. The reason why I ask you to use pencil is because you can then apply several coats to this. So the top coat you're going to shade across like that, not along the edge lines. So you're going to shade it reasonably lightly across, quite simply like that. So I've put one coat on that. The medium tone, you can turn the paper if it's easier to do so. You're going to do the same again. You're going to put one colour coat on there. Then you're going to turn it round and you're going to put a second similar coat onto your shape. So you can now see that that's slightly darker than that. The dark tone, you're going to do the same again. You're going to put one tone. You're going to turn the paper around, put a second tone. Again, notice that it's at the diagonal because I don't really want to go along the edge, and it will give you a much smoother finish. And then my third tone, I'm going to go over it a third time, pressing a little bit harder just to make that edge tidy up. We'll just tidy those corners up. Now this one's not quite as even as I'd like it to be, so I'm just going to very lightly go around the edges where I can see there's some white space, and I'm just going to tidy that up. You should now be able to see that we've got a light, a medium and a dark tone. It's not that pronounced, but it should be enough. So there's our cube with a reminder that we're using one coat, two coats and three coats. So now we need to look at the shape that we're going to shade. We're going to shade this upper shape here. So we're going to deal with all the light surfaces first. The only ones we're not going to deal with are the curves because they're specials. So the light tones are going to be these top surfaces here. So we need to shade those. We don't actually need to worry too much about staying within the lines because we're going to cut this shape out at some point. But I can shade all the top surfaces reasonably lightly. You'll notice I'm trying to keep my pencil going in the same direction all the way, and I'm trying to line it up with the edges so that I don't go over the edges too much. It's actually quite a quick process. You're trying not to get the pencil to scratch so you get a nice even cover, which is why I'm holding the pencil at an angle. So there's my light tones. I will have a little bit of light here, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I then need to do my medium tone. So looking on my cube, my medium tone will be on the end here, it will be on the end here, and it will be this surface here. You can turn the paper around if it's easier to do so. So you want to shade a light tone. Just fill those edges in there, and I'm going to turn it round so that I can shade my second coat. And then I'm going to do the same here. So there's my first coat, turn it round. There's my second coat. Same here. Should really have made a little bit more effort. You'll have a bit more time to get that a little smoother. Second coat, different angle. which will disguise the marks that your pencil has made as well, and it will also cover up some of the errors that we've done in the two coats. But again, it may leave some of the edges just slightly light, so we can just tidy those up and try and match the colour. Okay, so we've now done our medium tones, our light tones, and we're just left with the dark tone and the curved surface. The dark tone, you can actually use a ruler to line up the edge like that, and then you can give that a tone, and that sharp edge will give you a nice straight line. You can push a little bit harder. You don't have to put 3 coats on, but it's useful if you do. And you notice that I'm not running along the edge of the line. So I can put 1 coat on there. I can turn it round. Probably won't be able to do that with a ruler there quite so easily, so I need to put a coat on that way. And then my third coat can go on longitudinally like that, and I can push just a little bit harder, and that allows me to trim up that bottom edge as well as the top edge. Then I can do the same up here. 1 coat. I could use a ruler again if I wanted to on there. Turn it round. And then just tidy up the edges vertically. And again, you can see that that's darker than that, and that's lighter than that. And then the last edge we're going to do only up to here, because the curved edge is special. So we're going to again give it 1 coat like that. I can turn it round, give it a 2nd coat, and then I can tidy the edges up. Now the curved surface is slightly different, because whenever the light falls on a curved surface, it flows that way. So it's much better if you try and shade it across the short edge. It's a bit awkward to do, but with a bit of practice, you're going to start quite dark here, and you're going to get lighter and lighter and lighter until you get no colour here. And then you're going to get back to dark again. So you're ending up with dark here, coming up that way. So if you start at the dark edge, you get the end of the pencil so that it's flat on your colour, so you're not going to scratch it, and you come up gradually, getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And you do that by just not pushing onto the paper quite so hard. So I've got lighter and lighter. I can always come back down. Just tidy that up and blend that in there. Then I'm going to start at the dark again. I'm going to push quite hard, and I'm going to get lighter and lighter and lighter. You should have a definite white spot there with no colour on at all, and that makes it look like it's circular. You can do that for 2 or 3 designs. You can use a different colour for each design if you wish, but you need to stick to 1 crayon for 1 design in its entirety. Don't use yellow, don't use black, because those colours won't give you a very intense light, medium and dark, but any of the other colours like red, purple, green, blue will work fine. Brown works quite well as well, because it gives you a wood idea. So have a go and see if you can colour at least 3 of your designs.